Hi, my name is Brendyn Schneider. My bus story takes place from New York to Boston. Now, junior year, I went to school in Boston, and I was living in New York. Now, this was during the days when I was brutally single. I'm talking about no dates for years in either direction. It was also light years before I met the girl who would ultimately become my wife. I would sit on these buses and just hope that one of the pretty girls walking down the aisle would talk to me and sit down. Usually that didn't happen. Usually the girl that would sit next to me would look more like my uncle. Well, this gorgeous girl comes walking down the aisle one day, and I'm talking about just face and hair and makeup, bam, and her clothes, wham, just gorgeous. And she sits next to me, and she promptly falls asleep. I spend the next 2.5 hours trying not to look at her flat stomach, which was hard to do because her midriff shirt ended right here, and the stomach began like way down here, so it was really difficult to not look at her stomach. I also spent the next 2.5 hours trying to find a way to wake her up, start talking to her, make out with her, and have sex with her sometime before Boston. Well, fate intervened. Someplace in the middle of Connecticut, this terrible snowstorm picks up, and after about 20 minutes, the captain of the bus clicks on the mic, right? He's like, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're definitely going to be late to Boston. There's no way we're going to make it there on time." Click. There's like a collective groan on the bus. But the girl next to me, she snaps her eyes open, and she says, just to no one in particular, "No, I need to get to Boston on time. I need to make a connection to my school up in Vermont." So I turn to her, Johnny Fix-It, right? And I say, "You'll make your connection." "Excuse me?" "Your connection. You'll definitely make it." "Really?" "No doubt in my mind." "Oh, thank you." She was not going to make her connection, and frankly, I didn't care. I was just psyched that we were talking. "So you go to school in Vermont. What do you study?" "Oh, I study piano." Piano? Wow, that's awesome. Are you good at the piano?" Yes, I am very good." "And what do you study?" "Well, I study communications, and I'd like to think I'm very good at communicating." So we're talking about school, and that conversation leads into our families, and she's moving a little bit closer, and I can smell her perfume, and she asks me, "Is your father very strict?" "I don't know, I guess no more stricter than any other father." "Why, is your father strict?" "Yeah, my father, he is so strict. He said to me that if I don't graduate this time, I could never come home." Strange. Now, broken family, but who cares? I mean, we're talking, and any second we're going to start making out, and then we're going to have sex all the way to Boston. Not bad. So I launch into this monologue about how it's important to become an adult, and good friends don't necessarily make good roommates, and, be careful with your money, and this just line of crap that was really just designed to impress her. Which I guess it did, because when I was done, she said, "Wow, I can tell that you know what you're talking about. You are very mature." "Wow, okay, well, thank you very much. How do you know that?" "Well, it is obvious. I mean, you are an adult, and I am in high school." My brain slammed into the side of my skull. Two things. First, she got on the bus wearing a midriff shirt and nothing else. No jacket, no coat, and it's in the middle of February. That's okay, you can sleep with crazy. You cannot sleep with high school. This is Steely Dan territory, I gotta get out. "Well, best of luck to you." No, what else do you like to do?" With a hand on my knee, right? And I'm like, nothing, I don't like to do anything else. No, you are adventurous and exciting." "I'm neither of those things. I'm a terrible person, and I'm awful and very boring." "You are adventurous and exciting." "You know what? I'm actually feeling very tired. I'm going to go to sleep. Best of luck to you and the 88 keys." I pretended I'm asleep for the remainder of the trip, 2.5 hours, the first 5 minutes of which I'm looking at her through like the slits of my eyelids, right? And I can see her leering at me, talking about crazy. When we get to South Station, not only does she not make her connection, but we walk in two completely different directions. Thank God. Here's the thing. If you have a design to sleep with someone, make sure you know how old they are, because there's a strong possibility they might want to sleep with you too.